say Maroons when Ducks comes in.
Exciting and tough and fast. It simply must be discussed on an equally exciting and tough podcast. What's it called? Monday Night Lights. Monday Night Lights. Monday Night Lights. What's been going down on the ice? Who are the leaders? Who are the failures? The Ducks, the Tigers, the Nordiques, the Whalers, the Seals, the Hurricanes, the North Stars. Who's gonna stall? Who will go far and earn the keg? Who's gonna earn the keg? We'll find out in time. Give us a holler on the whoop line.
There we go.
The whoop line, baby.
The
Whoop line.
So we had a wonderful show last week. The first 5 minutes were fucking awesome, and no one could hear it because we played some AC/DC or something, and they copyrighted it out. So we got the original Monday Night Lights podcast song. We have not dubbed the Ducks out and the Maroons in, but, you know, we're learning. We're trying to get better every week. So this is the third version of the Goosey, Sniper, and Dave P podcast, Monday Night Lights podcast. The Goose is playing hockey tonight, so he's out. In his place, we have Claus and newcomer Andrew, don't
Good start.
Andrew, don't call me Kelia. My last name is Kayla from the Maroons. Welcome to the podcast, Andrew.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So, just start out. Tell us. I'm not trying to date you. I'm married, 4 children.
Sure.
But tell us a little bit about yourself. League newcomer. We all know you've been a stellar goaltender. But what's your connection to the league? You know, where do you live, work, whatever. Just tell us a little bit about yourself, and hopefully you're enjoying your inaugural season.
Yeah, no, I'm having actually a lot of fun. I've never quite been in a league that takes it so with the podcast and the Slack channel and everything. It's pretty crazy.
Welcome.
Yeah.
You mean every league isn't like this?
Yeah. So it's definitely different. Live and work in like Plymouth, Canton area.
Gotcha.
And just like to play some sports, man. I like to play some hockey, stuff like that.
So what's your connection to the was it Pellet?
Yeah, so Pellet, I think it's Pilo, but just so you know, yeah.
I've been calling Pellet for
all
fucking
been
3
saying
years. So
Pellet.
it's his fault.
I could be wrong. I could be wrong too, but we're in a golf league together over in Northville.
Okay.
Gotcha.
He just said the league needed a goalie, and I was like, well, I like to play.
The rest is history. It's free. You get a cool jersey. I
Yeah.
mean, stats.
Yeah.
I will say,
Yeah.
believe it or not, I know you don't know much about me, but I was a MNL goalie, but turned skater.
Okay.
And you know, you play in like a Troy Sports Center league, and you know they keep stats. Kind of, you know, it's like there's a stat page. It's a stat page, but it's like it's just like it's nothing. So it's kind of cool for the goalies. Now we haven't quite gotten to save percentage, but maybe one of these years, we'll get.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
But
It's a lot of work.
it is a lot of work. But
Hedis was
maybe
on top of that for a while.
Sure he was.
when all of our
That's why we have stats.
when all of our games are recorded and live streamed, then we could probably go back and get an accurate count. But it is nice for the goalies. You know, they get their stats too. Obviously, got the win-loss and the goals against average, and so it's nice. But thanks for being here. As far as league news, not really sure if we have anything. Obviously, we had the 1 week shutdown. Don't think that's been kind of rehashed, and we kind of erred on the side of caution there. Had a little outbreak, and it was frustrating, not playing. But in the end, I think it was. Well, I don't know if it was the right thing to do, but it happened, and I did like the scheduling simplicity that if we were thinking about playing 2 of the games, but then we got to try to do a makeup game, and I just think it kind of would have been a disaster.
It is easier to bail on all of it than half of it, or
yeah. So let's just hope that we get lucky and don't have any more. But if it is, it is. With the good thing about this league, it's like if we have to finish a keg in July, we will. We've done it before.
yeah, we
so
can handle
it
anything.
is what it is.
that is thrown at us.
A few weeks ago, Goosehead Insurance, a little sponsor of the show, had a little promotion where if someone gave my associate, Mr. Eccles, a deck page, didn't matter if you bought insurance, but if you gave him a chance to quote your insurance, got entered into a drawing for a $150 Pure Hockey gift certificate. And we are going to do that drawing. I have my nice box here. friends. I've put in the names.
How fitting.
I had Claus as quality control, saw all the names go in, and Claus is in the contest. So we'll have Dave P draw the name here.
I already know who I'm picking.
I'm not even gonna let your ass look in there. No. Pull it out. Just one. Is that one? That's one.
That's one.
Pull it out. Who do we got? We got Action Hale Doherty.
Yeah.
Oh,
Maybe he
look
could
at
get
Hal.
some new skates, you know. He's got the 1980
Jesus
Megatron.
Christ.
There
If
you go,
anybody
Hal.
needed it.
Yeah. I will say that Hale, it's not rigged. By the way, I think we had, and this will be the end of the plugs, but I think we had about 10 guys quote, and I think 6 or 7 of them actually we saved money and actually bought insurance, and
Really?
Hale is one of them. But thank you to everybody, and that goes that. Maybe we'll do a little sponsor. I also, those fancy MNL shirts were compliments of Auto Family Properties and Goosehead Insurance, and we appreciate your support. So with that, we did play some hockey on Monday. 9 o'clock game. Maroons versus the Kings of the North.
Oh, jeez.
Gosh.
2-1 game. Proctor did Proctor things, got him off to a 1-0 lead. It stayed that way for quite a long time. North
Feed
Stars.
from Alan Z, right? That was a sick play. Actually.
Yeah, he came in the corner, threw
It
it out
wasn't
in
even
front.
Proctor things. It was just
Yep,
like.
yep. Proctor on the finish. Yep. So it was 1-0. Stayed that way for a long time, and then the North Stars got a tying goal on a snipe from Kimmel. Nothing Mr. Kayla could do on that. And then the last goal, I still don't know exactly how it went in, so Andrew can fill us in there. It's kind of in my power rankings, which I don't know if Andrew reads. I said it was a Joe Louis Arena, springy boards carom, and then Matt Lapoudre banged it in. But Matt or Andrew, give us your your take on the game.
Yeah, no. I mean, I thought it was pretty up and down game. I thought it was pretty even for the most part. Riley made some really, really nice saves too.
Yeah.
Give him credit. I thought he played really, really well, honestly. That second goal, I don't know who took the shot, but it was from the left top of the circle maybe.
Yeah.
And just hit the board, came right back out the other side. And from the angle, I don't know how it came out. It's so kind of clean to the front of the net. But Matt was, I give him credit too, because it's not like he was standing watching the shot, like he was going to the net while the shot's being taken. So
yeah,
I
it was
just
a
didn't get to my post.
defenseman. He jumped in there, and then I think it's one of those I think he got 90% of it, and somehow trickled, or did it go in? Because it seemed like there was a delayed reaction. I don't even know exactly how it got in.
I don't know. I tried to get to my post as quickly as I could, and I never really even saw the puck because I just saw Matt going hard and just reacted to it. And I saw Ben actually put his hands up, and I was like,
Yeah,
yeah,
and I think it was Ben that shot it in. That's one of the, as we get older, and it's going to get geekier and old man, and I don't know if you guys had the opportunity. I know Dave P did, but there was another, back before COVID, and we used to be able to do fun things. Had a connection at the Joe, and we got to play there MNL had a couple games there.
Okay.
And
That was awesome.
and it was fucking awesome.
It was
awesome.
awesome.
The smell, just you're on that ice and the smell. I can still smell it. I can smell
I
it.
know exactly what
And
you're
then
talking about.
those fucking backboards, it's you hear about them on TV, and they're
It's not a joke.
they're 25% springier than you just kind of lob it in there. And it's bing, and it comes right out. And Hazel Park does not have that same feature, but on that one it did. You guys get to watch any of that game?
I did watch most of it. I missed this finale. Everything happened in the last couple minutes, so I missed the end. But watched most of the game. Me and David.
Yeah.
Pretty
And?
even game.
Yeah.
Up and down, like Kayla said.
Yeah, I agree with that. I thought the flow was pretty even. It was.
Judge missed a huge one.
Well, that's
oh
what I-
my! Can
that's
we
what I
talk
was gonna
about
say.
that?
Oh,
That
he
was crazy.
Stand on it wide open.
Yeah.
Yeah, how do
And
you
then
not
lost
put that
control
in?
of it. Oh,
That's just
jeez.
Tiger's luck for you right there.
And that was and momentum is such a big thing. So
Huge.
the Maroons were up 1-0, and dude, Riley.
Laying there.
By the
like,
way,
what do you-
I have to preface
Go
the goalies can be a little sensitive.
It's Riley.
So I'm gonna start. Riley is the best, dude. He comes in, he's so quiet, he just takes care of business. However, so Riley has been fucking awesome for us. He won us a keg last year, but he had a reputation as one of the league. The thing with Riley is he always made great saves, but he would kind of give in some clunkers here and there, and he has cleaned that up this year. It's he
really
just doesn't.
has,
He
yeah.
hasn't given up a single bad
He's
goal
been hitting
all
the
year.
gym almost,
Yeah.
two times
He's
a day.
just been so good. But if he has one little thing that drives me crazy, and he knows this because I yell at him, and he probably hates me for it. But it's sometimes I feel like he thinks that we're in a drop-in skate, and you got to keep the play going. I'm like, cover the fuck?
Cover it. Let's get a change.
When Proctor is on the ice,
Yeah, give
covering
him
the
off.
puck and freezing it is never a bad option.
But is he playing it, or like is he just like tossing it? Or
He'll
you're
like
just,
steer a rebound
Well,
to the side purposely.
No,
when he
it's
could do
more.
something with it.
Again, there's sometimes when I say there's sometimes like if you see if for example if you're on a power play and you want to keep the play going, that's one thing. Or if you see a guy open and you want to but there's a lot of times where it's like there's chaos in front of the net. It comes in slowly.
He's just trying to
instead
poke
of,
it out
instead
and
of
get it
just
out.
covering it.
Yep.
He like
Yeah.
pokes it out like right back in front of the net, into the fray. And on that Judge thing, it was another example. It was kind of like along the ice, and he went to like play it out. And I don't know if it went off of somebody's skate after he did that, or if he even like pulled it in. But somehow Judge was sitting there with the puck wide open in the front for literally like
10
8 seconds, and it's
Yeah.
like, and it's not like this is
Oh,
Charles
man.
Mackey or
No,
Hale. I
he's
mean,
a
this is
good
a
fucking
second round
player.
pick, and it's
Yeah.
like he's like, "Dit, dit, dit," and I was just like, I'm like, holy fuck! It's like he missed it once, he missed it twice, and like I don't know how that.
Yeah, that was crazy.
And if that goes in, it's 2-0.
yeah.
And momentum's just completely different. But it was a very hard fought game, up and down. Both teams had chances, and
I feel like Pete hit a couple posts
yeah,
too.
Pete had I don't know at least one. He had
One
Pete
beat the blocker.
maybe
post
yeah.
and left
He
side.
had both teams had their chances.
Yeah, it was a good
And
game.
yeah, it was good. So it was nice to get on top. My buddy, I don't know if he's a podcast listener. Rutkowski is like he's by far my favorite Maroon. I mean,
Goon, what a goon.
He's a
ju-
fucking
he's ju-
goon.
he's
Just a goon of the league right
he's
now.
just what is funny. I talked to him after the game a little bit, but so there's and again, I don't give a shit. I kind of enjoy it, like a little bit of
physicality. The
yeah,
bumping
but it's
and-
like
yeah.
literally like there's at least twice in the game where he takes his hand off of his stick, puts it on my stick, and just like grabbing me, and so which is fine. I don't give a shit. But then where I had my little issue with Mr. Rutkowski,
You did
then
it back and he cried.
I didn't do it to him, but other people. He's just like complaining for calls, and I'm just like, dude, it's like it's
Yeah.
one or the other. Like if
The only thing
anyway.
I'll
He's
say
mixing it
in
up.
defense of my teammate
Yeah.
is I have never played in a league where people complain about calls so much.
Oh, yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But
Well,
I would never ref in this league.
Oh,
Never.
It's
Holy
something
cow.
that's part. I agree with that. It's so weird because we all most of us play on Wednesday and Friday at Troy, and you might say something to a ref here and here, but I think where it just comes from two things. Like one,
we're privileged.
everyone
in MNL, I
cares so
guess.
much.
Yeah, the passion to win is there a lot.
And the other problem, which is good, and we've had this debate-
Mondays, we're upset already. So.
Yeah, no, we've had this.
That's fair cause, yeah.
We've had this debate, but it's different because we usually have the same refs. So if you're playing at Troy Rink every Friday night and it's like a different two refs every time,
Yeah.
but you have this familiarity with the refs, so
Yeah.
you've and then half the refs are volunteer refs in the league. So I agree with you, and I am not an angel in that regard. So I ref.
You were
the-
standing up on the bench a couple times
Oh, yeah.
during our game. I was like,
Usually I'm yelling at my teammates
Oh,
when,
okay.
when I'm
Okay.
doing that. But that's
No, you're
another,
yelling
that's
at the
another
ref,
shit.
too.
Watch
You'll-
us.
you'll
Watch a
learn.
Seals
Or the
North
scorekeeper.
Stars game.
You'll
You'll see the Broys get a little bit rowdy.
okay.
So,
But I
Otter
love.
Brothers,
I
should
am a
say.
Rutkowski. Even though that came off, but I am a Rutkowski fan. He's like kind of a crotchety, get off my lawn, old guy, like clutch and grab. He
so
he
much
should,
better on his feet than I thought
Yeah,
he'd be. I'm
he should-
pissed.
he should be
You
a
can't
North
just take
Star.
him out.
I said he should be a North Star because he's got to be at least
'Cause he's
45, old.
Grinding. Yeah.
Probably has Metamucil before the game. But anyway. But so
Lickety
that's
split.
that. It was a good game. But it's how if you can hold Proctor to one goal, that's always an accomplishment. So Kings of the North win that one. Then at the 10 o'clock game on the Olympic ice, we had Seals versus the Tigers, and we had the Seals. Was it 4-1 with an empty netter?
4-1 with an empty net.
Yeah,
Yep.
so very competitive. That score is not indicative of the competitiveness, but Cam, take us through it.
So pretty slow start to the game. A lot of back and forth neutral zone play. They put one in early, just had a couple shots right off the bat. Back and forth, not really possession on either team. I think couldn't remember who got it on a stick, but I believe it was Z who got it on a stick and just kind of our zone couldn't clear it out of the zone, and He just threw it up there and went top shelf, blew off the bottle. So
it
was goal one.
I was
Real sexy.
I'm
Blew off the bottle.
I'm gonna interrupt you there for a second because you you eventually got to it, and thank you. You were so casual. You're like, yeah, I think they got the first one. I don't remember much about it. It was like this, Z got it in the slot.
It's all about
and
build-up.
I was reffing this game. Z got it in the slot. And goes bing, water bottle. The top of the water bottle goes into the corner.
It was a nice goal.
And as a former
good.
Yeah, as a former goalie, I was like, for camp, I felt bad, so I went and retrieved it.
He did.
And I
What a
swear-
nice ref
You
of
shouldn't
him.
have.
No,
You shouldn't
that's-
have.
God.
I was
Shouldn't have.
roughing.
Did you fill it with water too?
I didn't fill it with water.
That's enabling.
And then I screwed it back on. I thought, pretty good stuff.
That's why you never keep a water bottle in the net in men's league.
I was dehydrated the rest of the game.
Bottles
Oh,
on
God.
cardiac
But it was-
arrest.
Yeah.
He's over there.
It was.
It's bad enough to get lit up. You don't want to see the bottle go flying.
Yeah,
You
that's-
never just keep on the
Yeah.
bench.
Yeah.
Keep on the
It-
bench. yeah.
It was pretty fucking sweet.
Yeah, I knew
and
right
and
when
it's
he
not
put it
like
on net,
it was a
gonna be a
very
goal.
nice snipe. It's not like it was 100 miles per, but I mean it hit it just perfectly, and it goes. Psh, I mean it was
Yeah.
fucking cool. I even saw like the water come out, like I was like,
Picture
oh
perfect.
buddy. So anyway,
Are
sorry.
you sure? Because you missed a call for a goal. So I
yeah, we
don't
can
know
talk
how
about
many-
that. So one
Go on.
nothing.
Okay,
Seals.
and then,
did
yeah.
we tie it up? Did you guys came right
We
back? and
came
tied it
right
up?
back 30 seconds later. A beautiful pass from Ty. I never thought I would say that sentence.
Nice.
Right over to Weaver. Weaver one-timer. Goal. We're right back in it. It's a good game. The period ends. We go into the second.
Weaver scored for
That-
tie.
That was I think you have that wrong. I think it was Ty to Skillman to Weaver.
Okay,
but
either
it was,
or.
I,
Ty was in the mix, so
Yeah,
I'm
he was in
shocked
the mix.
already.
He was in the mix, but that was not a water bottle snipe, but that was like
That was a good clapper.
It was like a one timer. Like that
Nice.
it was a legit goal. I was like, damn, you know, definitely nice. So I made it 1-1.
Yep. Then we go in this second period. A lot back and forth. Anybody's game still, in my opinion. And then I believe who came down? Neville comes down on a play and just kind of throws it on net. Goes in between Bauer, who was subbing on us on his second game, and Woodsy was right there. Woodsy kind of tipped it down. Bauer got a skate on it. Kind of just comes through my 5-hole, trickles in. We got a 2-1 game.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yep. So that was, I mean,
We
you,
tied
as a
something.
goalie, you want those back. If you know.
Yeah, Wood claims that he tipped like it was an intentional tip.
Wood claims a lot of stuff.
I
so.
get it. I get it. And I didn't know if it was skate or his stick or.
Love you,
I mean,
Woods.
if it was his skate, it's not like it was intent. Like a goal
No.
wasn't going to get called back. But I thought it was off his skate. He claims he got it off his.
He
stick,
went through a
but-
couple bodies, and then
Yeah.
it's, I look
Yeah.
down, it's in between my knees.
Yeah,
so.
it's fucking deflating. That's a deflating one.
Oh yeah.
Yep. So,
It's that momentum thing.
yes. So we come back in the third period. We're playing good games. Pfister, by the way, had two or three breakaways that Z played a great game. He was making the quality saves he needed to make. Just couldn't capitalize on them.
That's Ryan. The Seals are a little because Alan Z was subbing for the Seals, but Ryan Z.
Ryan Z. Okay,
Yeah,
sorry,
yeah.
too many
Ryan,
Z's right
yeah,
now.
yeah. But Ryan Z did have a very nice game.
Yeah. So
The newlywed.
yeah, the newlywed. Congrats, by the way.
Yeah.
Photos looked awesome on Facebook. But yeah, I believe halfway through the third, we get caught on a change. Bauer's trying to get to the right winger. Jeez, who was it?
Yeah, Rattler.
Rattler.
Walked him.
Rattler does a little nice chip up the board, goes around Bauer.
Yeah.
It's a one-on-one. He puts it in. Low blocker, kind of hits my pad and goes in.
Yeah.
And that was just kind of the icing on the cake for us.
Yeah.
We just couldn't get anything back.
Yeah.
And then I get pulled with about 50 seconds left in the game. I already know it's kind of over. So
Yeah.
just the way the game was going. And in the third period, they're kind of loading up their first line. Apparently into Whoop, it was unintentional, but I think it was just kind of, I think they had Chad, Serta, and Shawnee all
Yeah.
just,
Yeah.
running as quick. But they're a good team. We knew they were going to be a good team going in. We knew we had something to prove, but we just couldn't finish.
Yeah.
Our attendance has been horrible. That hasn't
Yeah.
been great. So
Yeah. Yeah. We'll
that's
talk
what's
about.
going to do it.
We'll talk a little bit about that later. Andrew, are you hanging? How are you? How are you hanging around a little bit afterwards, or straight to the? Plymouth Canton. Decent drive.
Well, I am worthless at work if I don't get good night's sleep. So
Yeah.
if I'm the 9 o'clock game, I'm out of there.
Yeah.
I haven't stayed to watch at 10. I probably will, but
Yeah.
now that I'm starting to get to know people a little more. But
Yeah.
I stay for the 10 o'clock game, at least chat for usually 20 minutes or so
Yeah.
with some random people,
Yeah.
and then get out of there.
Yeah. I agree that, again, we've talked about it with the the judge debacle in the first game, but Fist not at the same level. But momentum is such a big thing, and whether it's beer league hockey or good hockey,
Definitely.
And Fister, he's been hot as a pistol, and he had at least 2 breakaways, and usually if he has 2, he'll score on at least one of them.
Scoring.
And
Kind
they
of
just
shoot him right into him right now.
Yeah.
I mean, Ryan's a big goalie, which is tough.
is.
But then too is, I mean, I feel like once you get one like really nice save under your belt, then all of a sudden it's the confidence for the goalie too. Now you're just kind of feeling it,
Yeah. But the Tigers couldn't. They just couldn't finish their chances, and it's funny because I was reffing the game. And obviously I take this too seriously. It's not even too serious, but I have this immense North Star pride. And I had, since I subbed for the Tigers last week and got a win with the Tigers, I was like, I'm reffing, and I'm of course a paragon of integrity, but in my heart I'm pulling for the Tigers. They got Ty playing for him and Bauer. And then when Rattler
a gas Ty and Bauer,
Ty,
mind you.
yeah, Ty didn't have much to offer. But when Rattler dangled Bauer, I was just like, oh god. And then Rattler, had a very nice finish, to his credit. So, but that was really the backbreaker, because it was 2-1 in the third, and then that made it 3-1 with not a ton of time left, and so that was that. But it was a good game. Dougie is still learning some things.
A little shy on the whistle. That comes with time, though.
Yeah, and Doug is a.
As far as the scrum in front of the net.
No. That was actually my fault. Yeah. No, just he missed some. Missed some ice. Missed a couple icings, but
missed a couple icings.
But Dougie is very self-aware, and he's like, I want to ref next week.
I see him in the referee room. He's like asking questions.
Yeah,
hungry to
exactly.
learn. So, I mean,
he will be a good. He has a good temperament for it. Like, you just can't. It doesn't matter even if you played hockey for like 30 years. It's like it takes some time to get some confidence to fire your hand up there. It's like when you're watching on TV or you're watching somebody else, oh, that's a penalty. But when you're the one that has to fire it up there, it's
a guy for you. You're just let's go all day long. Just kidding.
But anyways, that was a good game. Kind of the least. I mean, I kind of knew this going in, and you're just like praying. It's like, come on, Americans, like. Make it interesting, shock the world, do something.
I was hoping they had something.
Yeah, but I didn't hear a ton about
baseball unions they got going.
So on the 10 o'clock NHL rink, we had Americans, Whalers, 4-0 final. I'm told that Taylor only had 2 this week, down week.
I guess Turtle had one?
Turtle got one, and then...
I don't know where the other one came from. I thought Matt Taylor had a hat trick. And
yeah, who knows? But walk us through it a little bit,
Oh, no, Turtle had... It was... the other Taylor.
Chris Taylor.
Yeah, Chris Taylor.
There you go.
Yep,
now, I know Chris Taylor would. Normally, you guys have been playing Matt Taylor with Turtle and you with Trent, right?
Right.
So, but Trent was out on his suspension for gooning it up, and so you brought in Chris Taylor for Trent. Did you play the Taylor brothers together?
No, we took up Taylor with me this time. And
so he just slid right in for Trent. Yeah. I didn't know if he just brothers got a hug.
No, we did that the first time though, because he subbed for us before, and we put them too. That was actually, I think that was the Maroon loss. We did that strategy.
Gotcha.
So
walk us through the game. I know you didn't score, but take us through the rest.
I didn't score, but I wasn't scored on either.
There you go.
There's always that.
No -1.
Yeah, no minuses ever for vape. It was a good game. I feel like we dominated most of it. They had a couple chances, two big chances. Antioch had a breakaway, and Goose went for the flying poke check.
Yeah,
a bit too early. We got out of the way of it, and then hit the post.
Oh, was this early? Like when they were still in?
No, we were up 1. It would have tied it. They were still in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
We were up 1, or were we up 2 quick? I don't know. We might have been up 2, but either way, it was early in the game, and he hit the post. And then there was another huge moment, like right after that, where they hit the post again, and that was kind of our wake-up call on the bench, like, hey, like we got to get this game under control. We're not quite away with it yet.
Yeah.
So we settled down and got back to work and just kept scoring, getting pucks out of our zone. We basically just held the puck all night.
Yeah.
Kind of passed it around. And
Ben ref that game, and we came. The North Stars. We had Ty subbing, Bauer subbing, me reffing, Matt Lapoudre subbing, Ben. So it was fun. We got to have we got to have the win locker room at 9 o'clock, and then after the 10 o'clock games, we got to head to the recap of the other games. And Ben came, and Ben came in, and he was like, when I was like, well, what happened over there? And I already, it's one of those questions you know the answer before you. But he's like, oh. And he's like 4-0 Whalers, and he's like, and it wasn't even that close.
Great article, by the way, by Dickie Dunn.
Oh, Dickie's so great.
He's flawless.
He really, he really is good. And he's witty. And I miss, this is all nice. I don't know if we ever had them going at the same time, because the podcast obviously is great. But there was a time we had an entire, we are really dorky. But we had an entire, there was a Slack channel called the Press Box. And we had multiple, it was Justin Wright. Justin Wright never wrote shit. But you had Panty Dropper, you had Drager, Maki, Busta.
Maki was writing once a week.
Yeah, Busta, and then Ben, and Dickie Dunn. So Ben, I don't know. It's hard, all the nicknames. Do you know Ben on our team? So he's all Dickie. He also writes under the pen name Dickie Dunn.
Okay, so it's okay.
Yeah, so Dickie Dunn is Ben.
Yep.
So, but we used to have a whole press box, and we'd have an article for each game, like kind of a recap. And these fuckers are witty, you know.
Yeah.
And
they're hilarious.
Like,
you can go on the website and read through, and you will chuckle. It's funny.
Out.
It's funny.
Yeah, they and with pen names too. I mean, Drager's like Yaromir,
Yaromir Drager.
Drager, and Busta some Mexican. No, he had a Mexican pen name, but but anyways, so I missed those articles because it was good because they're witty articles with Photoshop's pretty good. But Dickie Dunn's great. But he was like, it's just like he said it wasn't close. So
I think Joey Ellis might have picked up the suspension.
Oh yeah, I heard about. No, you don't get a suspension for a 2 and a 10. You get a 2 and a 10 is a 2 and a 10.
You don't get a game the following. Okay,
no,
good.
the only time you get a game the following is when you get a match penalty or a game misconduct.
Okay.
And that's under USA hockey rules, which technically.
I wasn't sure there was mixed reviews in the parking lot. People were saying he's out of game now.
Yeah.
And I was like,
2 and a 10
doesn't really deserve that.
Yeah, well, and then there was an apology, so that helps. And
right away. And me and Joey are pretty good buddies.
Exactly. So and Joey does not have a reputation of that. So what happened? That's surprising. He's got to be frustrated. The fucking Americans have not scored a goal.
That's pretty much what he started with. He's like, I'm pretty pissed off we can't win. Yeah. So
it's not about even winning. Like they haven't. They've been shut out 2 weeks in a row.
They have scored 7 goals. Actually.
7 goals in 6 games. But I'm saying they've been shut out the last 2 games, and it's just like it's no fucking fun.
Yeah,
like,
it's not.
If you lose 6-5, that sucks. But at least there's some enjoyment. Like the puck goes in the net, you get to cheer a few times.
Yeah, right.
Like when you
lose, fun for the goalie.
When you lose 4-0,
it's not fun for the goalie, but I feel like sometimes those are just the games that are best played.
Yeah.
When it's the high scoring games, they're back and forth. There's emotions going.
Fun.
Yeah.
You can't save a puck to stop your life, but your team's somehow still winning.
Yeah.
They're fun.
Yes.
Will that happen to MNL anytime soon?
Zero fun.
Right.
But it's like
it depends.
Well, we can debate whether that's fun for the goalies or not. But I can tell you, it's undisputed. It's no fucking fun. When you go 2 games in a row without scoring,
no fun.
The game before that, they don't score. It's
I hear you. I was a DQ year 1. Life sucked.
Yeah,
in a Whaler year 3.
Life sucked.
The Americans have had, they've had a bad, they had the keg winning team, and they had a pretty bad team before, record-wise. But it's like I don't think there's ever been a team that just hasn't scored. They're not 7 goals in 6 games. That's like the fuck. We're not in the NHL left wing lock era. It's like god damn.
Yeah, let's get some goals.
And it's just I feel bad. So
I did feel bad till he fucking wrecked me from behind. Now I'm kind of like, fuck the Americans.
Was it in the corner? What led up to it?
It was right in front of their net. I stole the puck from him in neutral ice.
Dave, by the way, little Dave P's been it. He got into it with Rakowski. It's Dave has.
I drew 4 penalties in this game.
Yes.
That's breaking my own records over here.
I like Dave, but he does have a little bit of that small, small guy. He's like, I'm gonna fuck with, you can't fuck with me. I'm gonna, like a little.
You can't fuck.
If you were 6'2",
not a good description.
I have a funny story.
If you were 5'6", and
if you were 6'2" and someone gave you a little shit, you would just walk away. But you're like, you're not gonna put me around.
I gotta tell you a story, Troy. One day, little Dave P. Jr. was in the box. And I think Dave takes a penalty. and his son is sitting in the box, and he goes in there, and he just looks over at little Dave Jr. He's like, "Don't take no shit from nobody." And then just to his son.
That was Rutowski shit.
Yeah. It was like, "Don't take no shit from nobody."
Little David said
Little
that?
Dave,
No,
no,
I
he
told
said
him
that.
that.
Life lessons.
Yeah, life
lessons.
life lessons when you're a little person. So
The first words he ever said to me were "Go fuck yourself." All right.
That was actually pretty funny too.
he's a great guy.
I didn't slash you in the head on that. That was Rutowski lifted my stick into you.
I mean,
Oh, what a goon! What a goon!
Yeah,
What
so
a
you tripped me,
goon!
and I was like, "Hey, go fuck yourself." You know, like, I'm not gonna.
I can't see his stick. I'm just looking in the corner, and I felt a stick hit my helmet. And I was like,
He's like, "You just watch your stick."
I was like,
I'm
keep your
"Ah,
stick
wasn't my
down.
fault. Fuck yourself.
"Keep your stick down." He just goes, "Go fuck yourself."
So, anyways, I steal a puck from him in neutral ice, and I'm like 5'6", and he's 6'3" or something.
Yes.
He said
An Adonis
Yeah.
compared to you. Yeah.
He said I shouldered him in the head. I'm like, okay, well that probably didn't happen, but I did.
You
steal the
shouldered
puck.
him in the head?
Yeah,
What,
he
did you
said he-
jump?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'm like, it's Mario Brothers out here on the blue line. But anyway, so he turns to chase me down, slashes me good.
Yeah.
I see the ref in front of me put his arm up, so I'm like, all right, boom, we're on the power play. I drop pass to someone on my left. They rip a shot. I go hard to the net, and then like the whistle goes. The goalie makes a save. It's right in his chest. I'm staring at the goalie. And then the whistle goes, and then bam, he just takes me out. Like, he chased me the whole way. He had to have. He just smokes me.
Good
It's
for
like
him.
right into the post and all this. Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, as long as it's not, and obviously I have a sweet spot for Joe and you.
Me too,
You know,
just
and
'cause
it's
I love the
fun.
guy.
But as long as it's not like a scary thing by the boards, you know, it's like
No,
you know.
He
Yeah,
knew
that's-
he was fucking me up just for a second, made me deal with it.
there you go.
It was worth it.
There you go. So that's that,
Good play.
and the Americans. So let's, I guess, with that we covered those games. Look at the standings. So we are finished a complete circuit. We are through week 7. Every team has played 6 games. Every team has had a bye. We have the Whalers, you know, looking pretty fucking good, pretty fucking cocky. 5-1, 15 points. And then it's kind of a league of the haves and the have-nots. You know, and then we have the Seals, North Stars, Maroons, and a logjam, all with 12 points, all 4-2. And I think the not that it matters, I think the tiebreakers are all messed up because the North Stars beat the Maroons, the Seals beat us, and the Maroons beat the Seals. So we'll probably go to a goal differential or something, but not that it matters.
Not yet.
I don't know if you know, Andrew. So for our playoffs, so we have 6 teams make the playoffs. The 7th team does not, and then the top 2 teams get a bye,
Okay.
and that guarantees them into the semifinals in a 2 out of 3 series. And then the 3 seed plays the 6, and the 4 plays the 5, and it's just a one game kind of wild game.
Oh, so bye's pretty big then.
Yes, getting the bye is important.
You have to.
Not only because you get a bye, but to me, it's like you're guaranteed that 2 out of 3 series, which is pretty sweet. Because
Yeah.
anything can happen in a one-game knockout. Where are you going?
Yep.
Car real quick.
Gotcha. Smokes?
Nope, chew. I don't
Chew.
smoke.
Oh, well, chew's good. So it's going to be
It's
a
not
dog.
good, children. Don't do it.
It's going to be a dog fight for that. The top 2 seeds. I mean, the Whalers are looking pretty fucking good. It's hard to
Yeah.
see them.
They'll have us top seed.
Yeah, maybe not the top seed, but you know,
A top, yeah, really top 2. They
it's-
score too
it's-
much.
Yeah, it's gonna be. Yeah, they're pretty solid.
Well, they're a
goaltending.
train that hasn't really been slowed down yet. So.
Yeah. Yeah, so
They've
we'll
been
see.
slowed down.
Yeah, Maroons got him once. I don't think.
Wasn't saying that.
Easy, Cam.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Hey, we slowed you down, and then
Yeah.
you know started.
There's a lot
Coming
of
the
hockey
derailing.
left. They're gonna be. The Whalers are gonna be in the playoffs. You know, so they're gonna be one of the top seeds, and they're gonna
We
be.
probably already clinched the playoffs,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, the way it's going with the Americans.
Cocky Whalers.
but,
Cocky Whalers.
They
here.
are very fucking cocky.
Oh.
Are we
And-
talking about the Whalers
so
first?
Andrew
Should I start?
Andrew does not have the background, so I'll just just to give you a
Cocky
little background.
Whalers.
Dave P is one of, if not the losingest player in MNL.
No way, not the
It's the
top.
day
Who
peakers.
else?
Claus? I don't know.
Claus hasn't been in the league as long as you got. So Dave
He's
P.
1 year short.
Dave P has been in the league. This is our
Year and a
The
fifth,
year 1 didn't count.
This is our fifth
We didn't
season.
know Proctor wasn't a 4th rounder or wherever
This is the
he went.
5th season of MNL, and Dave P has never won a playoff game ever. He's never been on a winning team, mate. Where did the Seals have a winning record that one year? Maybe one winning
Probably,
team.
yeah.
But anyway,
The year I
so the
played?
point is, the Whalers are littered with losers. So there's going to be a lot of pressure.
Not anymore, baby.
There's going to be a lot of pressure when it gets to the playoffs to get that monkey off their back. And that was so the North Stars were kind of like, we were like the Red Wings. I know you're a young man, but the early 90s
You're
Red
not
Wings.
like the fucking Red Wings, first of all.
Yes,
Can we just stop you there?
Yes, we are. We were like
God.
we were like the Brian Murray Red Wings in the early 90s, where they win the President's Trophy and then they lose to fucking Anaheim in the fucking playoffs. So the North Stars had a big monkey on their back, and it was so nice to finally get the fucking keg, because it's like, we got fucking won, Yeah. So that's the Whalers. The Whalers have literally, between Trent, you, Busta, Turtle, those are 4 guys that have been in the league all 4 years and have had limited. I mean, I don't think you, Busta, and Turtle have never even played for the keg. Trent played the first year. So, and
I subbed for the keg.
Yeah. Anyway,
How'd that go?
And lost.
How'd that go? How did that go?
I scored a goal.
On your own team, right?
No, on my own team. No.
Yeah.
Okay.
But anyways,
Fucking North Stars.
so I'm just saying the Whalers are good, and all those guys that I just named, even though I love fucking with them, it would give, if I can't win the keg, it would actually, maybe besides Busta, because he always fucks with me, but it would give me great joy to see Trent, Turtle, and you raise the keg. But we're gonna try our best to not let that happen. So we got
one.
we got the Whalers with 15, Seals, North Stars, Maroons, all with 12. Real nice starts to the season. And then we have the Nordiques sitting there at 6 points, Tigers with 4 points, and the Americans with 2. So what I'd like to do is kind of go through each team and maybe one kind of thing that in this first rotation that you think is really a positive, and then what are we going to do in the second rotation, to improve. So we'll start with Andrew. Maroons, give me your first impressions, good, and then maybe some keys or something you need to work on to keep it going.
Good. I would say I think we're pretty even. Like I think obviously Proctor's really good, but I think when you look all the way down to our bottom, we're not. There's no one who's like very bad. I guess I think we're pretty even. So we're never too exposed, even with the second line on the ice if we overload the first. I do think we need a little more chemistry for sure, even with our subs. I don't know who Star is, obviously, because he hasn't been here, and I understand why. But like having Judge and Proctor, I didn't think they really meshed necessarily on one line. So I think figuring out who works for us, especially since we're cycling out a second-round sub every time, needs some work. But that'll just come with time, I think, and getting to know everyone.
You will enjoy Star as a goalie. I'll let you know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Star's
So-
a stud.
He's a rocket.
And he's great with Proctor. That chemistry thing you're talking about, that'll be solved when you see him sauce pass blue line to Proctor every 5 minutes. It's crazy.
Little
So-
backstory on Star. He was actually a goalie in the NA.
He played
college. He played college hockey.
Yeah, he played for Ithaca College in New York. A small
something
school.
like that. Yeah, small.
Yeah.
Utica
Probably
College.
Utica College, probably some college team, or maybe D3.
Might have been Div 3, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, you'll enjoy him. I've had him in the past.
Yeah.
In front of me, and
Cool.
he's a stud. He knows what to do.
The way our league sets up, it's Proctor's been the number 1 pick for the last 3 years, and then you have that number 1 pick, and then you gotta wait, and it comes around. And Star kind of has slid into that slot. So Star has been with Proctor like probably 3 out of the 4 seasons, and
Okay.
Star is not compared to like a Judge. Judge is more offensively gifted with kind of his hands and his dangle, but Star is more of a shutdown D-man, and then he loves to he's not going to rush the puck. He's more of just an outlet, so he loves to hit Proctor for when he does the little cherry pick thing. I agree with you, and then have a little, but J-Flo and Rutkowski have been good enough on that second line, but I feel like the Maroons are like, they need to figure out some consistent secondary scoring, because I feel like often, if Proctor doesn't score 2 or 3 or set up 2 or 3, then where's the rest of the scoring? I don't have the stats in front of me, but J-Flo's a nice possession player, but I don't know if he's put the puck in the net a lot. I know Rutkowski's banged in a few.
So we got 1 goal for J-Flo, and then 2 goals for Towski.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, I mean, all of our secondary scoring is going to be greasy. I mean, it's just going to be.
And there's nothing wrong with that, There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But that's kind of, when I play against, the North Stars. You're going to learn a lot tonight about the North Stars. But North Stars have we've patented the dessert swarm defense, and it's kind of like know where
AARP team.
and the Proctor rules. It's like we just know where Proctor's at, and if if somebody else beats us, so be it. But we're not going to let Proctor. We're not going to
stroll into his own hat trick lounge.
He might, but we're gonna. But he's our sole focus, And if someone else is gonna have to. If our game plan works, someone else is gonna have to beat us. So, and it worked last night. There's been plenty of times where that hasn't worked, and he still gets 3 or 4, no matter how many eyes we have on him. So, next we'll go with the Whalers. This is gonna be very hard for you to come up with something critical, but let's start with something good. Not named Matt Taylor, and then
good
maybe
is 100% our depth. Like, I can up and down the lineup. Anytime that I'm threatened with the puck, I can confidently throw it anywhere. I can go back to the D. Bronny's there. Simonelli is like so much better than I even thought he was till I was his teammate.
Van Allen,
Those guys are unreal behind me. And then, even the lower round guys, Justin Wright, he's always on the wing doing the right thing, pushing hard to the net. Yeah. So our depth is definitely the big plus to take away from the team.
Got the Olive back there, one of my favorites.
Yeah, he's always doing the right thing.
And the upcoming Bronny, man. I think he's a solid D guy, too.
Bronny has this,
the fountain of youth, Bronny.
Oh, my God. I call it the Bronny syndrome, where one time a game he's just going to take over, and it's going to be his moment. The puck is on his stick. He's going to go coast to coast and get a good shot. Lepoudre has that Bronny syndrome as well.
It's not a syndrome. It's he's 55 years old and he's got his one energy burst.
Here comes his moment.
Maybe one, but I know what you're talking about.
But it was a great shift.
He makes up his mind. He's gonna jump in the play.
Right now it's happening, and you're just like, oh shit.
Here goes Bronny. Yep, I agree with that. So can you find one flaw in the Whalers? I mean is there an Achilles heel to be had?
My scoring is our only flaw. So as long as I do my part,
well, that ain't gonna make it fixed.
We'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean,
cocky.
I don't want to September Heisman one time.
They're definitely.
I'm gonna do that in the playoffs this year.
Yeah,
okay?
They're definitely cocky.
Now,
they're good.
I'm gonna bring this up to you, JP. Do you think the change in management has been a plus or a minus for the Whalers? Obviously, it's looking like a plus right now. Captain Jack.
It's a plus just because we get Serta off for a better player. So I mean, that's what the Whalers missed last year was Serta not being a. It's not really shots fired.
It gave him Matt Taylor.
It gave us Matt Taylor for Serta. I mean, that's a big jump. It's not a shot at Serta. He's a great skater, great player, but.
So you probably figured this out. I don't know. Were you around for the draft or no? You just kind of found out what team you were on after.
I just found out what team I was on. Yeah.
You did the eval skate.
The way we do.
I was told I had to.
The way that we do this is that every franchise has 2 GMs, and there's negotiations in a smoke-filled room to give them a draft slot. So they're assigned a round where they get picked, and then we draft from there. So the Whalers before this year, their 2 GMs were Trent and Serta. And they were both kind of fringe, end of the first, beginning of the second round players. Mm-hmm. So what we did with them, and we have a draft lottery with ping pong balls and everything, to determine the draft order. But the Whalers were always locked into they had never had a shot at the number 1 pick because we locked them into the number 6 pick. So Trent or Serta would be a first rounder, and then the other one would be a second rounder. Okay. So now they divorced this year. It was amicable, And I think they were both happy because then so that allowed them to get in the lottery. Trent slid to the second round, which is a nice value there, and then they hit the lottery and they got Matt Taylor. Well, actually, number 3 overall.
Yeah, 3.
So Matt Taylor
above. That's
is
crazy.
So last year Matt Taylor was obviously very good and scored a lot of goals. He had some attendance issues. And then, and he even had a little injury thing. So he had a good year, but he didn't have the type of year that he's having this year. So, and Pfister had an amazing year for the Seals, led the league in scoring and all that.
So sophomore slump.
Yep. So
everybody knows you now.
So the Tigers had the number 2 overall pick, and Taylor was a Tiger last year, and so they passed on Taylor and took Pfister.
That's tough.
And I think Taylor is just a man on a mission.
Oh, he's pissed. Mm-hmm. Every team passed on him.
Every team. He drafted 3 overall.
That's what we're telling them. Every game.
3 overall and every team passed.
This team passed on you.
Yeah. I mean, I think...
Starts breaking water bottles in the locker room.
Yeah.
What?
The Whalers are very good. And then they also got very lucky because then we do 2 lotteries. We do the lottery for the skaters and then the lottery for the goalie. So then they won the goalie lottery and they took Dylan number 1. So, they're a solid team with the best scorer in the league.
Best
and then
goalie in
and
the
then
league.
Arguably.
yeah.
Best back checker. in the
He's
league.
got a solid,
Arguably.
Best defense.
solid
Arguably.
goalie.
Agreed.
Arguably.
He's
Arguably.
solid.
They are going to be tough, but I don't think they're
I'm
unbeatable.
not gonna speak up more, man. Let's get the
You know.
cockiness going here.
Yeah.
The cocky
Very-
maroons in the house.
very-
There you
Look,
go.
I mean, there's no question the goalies are the class of the league. I'll tell you that right now. Across the board.
I agree with that.
Goalies have made an improvement.
I will
for sure.
say, unlike, I think it's two things. I think the goaltending is very good, and then it's just the competitiveness from week to week, and the teams being evenly matched compared to like your random. You know, if you're in a league at Friday night at Troy, and there's 6 teams in your division, you know that there's going to be 2 or 3 teams that are pretty good, 2 in the middle, and then 2 shitty teams. But because everything's so tight, like it's a pretty low scoring league compared to regular beer leagues.
Oh, absolutely.
Because everyone tries so fucking
Absolutely,
hard too.
yeah.
And the goalies are very good. So the Whalers are definitely tough. I do think, you know, we'll see. We'll get our crack at the Whalers. I have a little recipe. My recipe, it's not a secret. It's like we like to get, when we play the Whalers, I think their defense is solid, but I think they can be had to some degree. And then we love to dump the puck in the corner softly and just Dylan can't resist playing the fucking puck and coughing it up. So that's
He hasn't
that's
coughed it
just,
up this year.
yeah, but he's cognizant
Played it.
of it.
He got an assist in the last
Yeah.
game, by the way.
He
Is
did,
he
he
the
did,
first
he
goalie
did.
with an assist?
I don't know. We'll see. I don't know if he got on the stat
He's
sheet.
got
might
like
have
as
one.
many points as me now.
But enough about the Whalers. So then we'll go
Not saying much, JP. Not saying much.
going down. Then
You
we'll
would have thought he scored.
we'll
the
go
fucker
with the
Selly.
Seals.
He was selling it at half ice.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
You're going crazy.
Oh,
Thought he
you know
scored
it.
it.
I will say that if I ever get a chance to empty net, I'll be firing.
Oh,
yeah.
absolutely. All of us
As
will.
you
All of
should.
us
I
will.
have a chance. To.
That has not happened in MNL.
That
We're
has
still
not
waiting.
happened. Yep. No
Can you
goalie
get it
scored.
all the way down?
Oh, yeah.
You can.
Oh,
I,
yeah.
Dylan probably.
I know at least 4
I haven't seen you
goalies.
play the puck a ton.
Usually, I take probably about 5-6 shots in warm ups.
Yeah.
I like to shoot the puck in
Same
warm ups
here.
more than take.
Same
here.
And I will fucking bar down that
Yeah.
shit.
Yep,
Sweet.
yep.
That's
I
Good.
love puck going.
I'd love to. I don't want it to happen against us.
Yeah, I'd love
but
to
I
see
would
it.
love to see.
Oh,
it.
please
any
do it
puck.
against them. That's the best thing.
Yeah,
I think.
I'd love to.
But
see.
it'll be a chance for someone to score because they'll shoot it in, and when like people are crashing the net, and I'm still gonna try and fire it.
Yeah.
Maybe I misplay it.
The
But
best thing
whatever.
is you gotta just kind of saucer it up and get it
You
over
gotta try
everybody.
it.
That's
Yeah.
Ideally,
That's the
maybe
way.
in a 2-goal game. So you know.
Yeah, perfect world. But in a 1-goal game, I'm still trying.
Yeah, I agree. I would
It's
love.
MNL. It could happen in just on a 5-on-5. You never know. It just-
I don't know about
Yeah,
that,
maybe if Charles subs in a game.
yeah, there you go. Yeah,
We have another Charles.
we're at risk if that
Yeah.
happens. That's not
Yeah.
a good time.
I would.
Sorry, Charles.
It would be great joy if we had a goalie goal in MNL. That would be fucking awesome.
Articles, that's
sweet.
newspapers.
Yeah.
I mean, that's.
I agree. Sponsorship, but
Don't let it happen before I score my
So-
first goal this year. Please, God.
so
Please, God.
next
Never
on the
live that
list.
down. Never live that
Next
down.
on the list, we have the Golden Seals. We do not have a Seal representative, but give me one. You just played against them. Give me one positive on the Seals, Cam.
They can score. They can score. They have 18 goals, 4 right now. That's pretty good. Let's see here. Downside. I'm not gonna say goaltending. It's not goaltending.
No, Ryan's pretty good.
Yeah, Ryan's a great goalie. You know, he got the North Stars 2 years ago to the KEG, so credit him for that. I think it could be. I know there is some attendance issues going on right now. The Seals always have that Seals inconsistency sometimes, but it's not showing this year, so it's kind of
They're
hard
still
to say.
missing that key guy, that like
Yes.
first pick. You know,
Yeah.
Yes.
They have
Still
a,
kinda missing
I
that
subbed for them
natural
one
score.
time.
Yeah.
And I guess it's hard for me to say because I don't pay too much attention when I play, which is probably bad. But I feel like they have the most speed
Yeah.
in the league.
100%.
They drafted a good team. They got Chad Fell. So Chad, you know, he's probably listening.
Yeah, he says they have the worst 6th rounder in the league.
So I don't. Do you know Chad at all?
Roadies!
He's the little Asian guy.
I see him.
So,
Yeah.
So I don't know if you follow on Slack or not, but Chad is a sweetheart. He's a very nice kid. But he literally, we have a tip jar emoji because basically he just basically trashes himself, no self-esteem. So he'll be like, I suck, and then everyone does a little tip jar emoji. So it's kind of a running joke. But
Okay.
all jokes aside, Chad fell to them with like into the last pick of the 5th round, and he's by far the best skating 6th rounder ever in MNL. So
Yeah, mind
they're-
you, after taking a season off last year.
yeah. So I think the Seals are definitely a very deep team with Serta, Rattler, Shawnee, Wood, and Chad. Wood doesn't not in that same category, but they are grinders.
Shots
and,
fired.
Is
and
Chad the only Asian guy in the league?
I think
He's
so.
actually Polish. Pretty sure.
No. His last name's Polinsky, and he's
Polish.
He's Polish Korean.
But the little Asian dude on the Seals is Chad Polinsky.
that's
He's a
that's
sixth
Chad.
rounder.
yes,
That's insane.
is the
That's insane, yeah.
first overall pick
He's,
in
like,
the
better
6th
than me.
round. But yeah,
Doesn't matter. Yeah,
Chad, you're on the chat right now. What did you go?
'Cause he can skate.
What,
The guy can
year two?
skate.
What
Oh,
was
yeah.
your draft
And that's
pick
I'm
year
sorry,
two?
but that's at a
Yeah.
premium in this league.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
the
yeah.
thing with Chad is that
He
he's
can skateboard
he's
and
had some,
yeah. Put him in the first round.
yeah.
He's actually a pretty good goalie too. I played against
Yeah,
him
he-
against the
yeah.
Cape Hawks, so
So Chad had some, he had some prior years where he would.
I should be
It's
nice.
one thing when he's negative about himself, but then he would get so down, like in the locker room after a game, he'd be like pouting a little bit.
guys, I only
So-
scored 2 goals.
Yeah, so I think that's kind of why he slipped a little bit. But trust me, I had to draft myself over Chad because I was locked into the 5th round, and then, so if Chad was there in the 5th round, I would have fucking taken him, obviously. So
Yeah, I'm ashamed of every other GM in the league right now. That's
Yeah. Yeah.
that's insane.
Yeah, so they're a very deep team. But to Dave's point, I like all those guys that we just mentioned. Like none of them are just absolute kind of snipers. So they have a bunch of like high energy guys, but they can go if they face a high end goalie. They can struggle, but they are just a scrappy fucking team. Back check speed, so they're a pain to play against, no doubt about it.
100%.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
Then next on the list is my North Stars. So we start off 0-2.
All right, coffee break, guys.
Yeah. no. So we started off 0-2. I think we are one of the better puck moving teams as far as like moving the puck. We got a bunch of old guys that have played a lot of hockey and kind of move it pretty good. I think that's a strength. We also don't have like even. I say that with Kimmel scored a goal a game, and Kimmel had a nice snipe. That was inside on the bar, hit our first goal.
His last one was pretty much a dirty
Yeah.
snipe too, when he cut the slot and
Yeah.
sniped glove.
But when we struggle, just like every team in the league. It's hard to fucking score goals, so we can go through some dry spells. So I think that's kind of like consistent scoring is kind of our own little like kind of kink in the armor.
I
I
also
guess.
have to say, Ben's get up for you guys is just
Yeah.
clutch.
Always flawless.
It's clutch.
What round was Ben?
Ben was 2nd round.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Crafty veteran, sees the ice well, moves.
Yeah,
the
he's
puck.
smart. He's a good player.
Yeah,
He's a really good player.
And he's whatever team he's on. Ben is also cursed. So the thing with Ben is because he's such a nice guy and because he moves the puck, everyone wants to play with Ben. So he does get drafted high every year, and he has not had a lot of winning. So we
Ben
won.
is a stud.
Yeah,
I
but
agree.
yeah, and he's right up there. But we won
And
after
Van
we,
Rocket.
after we started off 0-2. We won 2 in a row,
Mm-hmm.
and Ben was not joking. And he said, "I've never won 2 games in a row in MNL." And I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" He's like, "Nope." Like, this is the first time I've been on a team that has won 2 games in a row, which made me very
Poor guy.
sad.
Yeah.
So he's just loving, being on a competitive team. So
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
it's so that's good. But enough about the North Stars. We talked about the North Stars playing. So next on the list we have the Nordiques, who are very, to me, I've said this before, but a surprising, 2-4. I think they're.
I've also said the same
I
thing.
think they're pretty fucking good to be 2-4.
Oh,
So
yeah, I don't understand what they're not doing
But-
right.
but give me one. Give me
Yeah,
what do you
really.
you've played against the Deeks. What do you
I
guys?
agree.
Give me something positive about the Deeks.
Positive. They're deep. I don't know how
Yeah,
they're as low as they're on the standings. They're really deep. Sugar is really good. I mean,
They've always.
Big rig.
I mean, even the year they won the keg, they were kind of a sleeper team. They always kind of just
they have
hover.
Proctor and Sugar though.
Correct,
I mean,
but they only
it's
hovered
huge.
around 3rd and 4th place that whole season.
No,
No,
you're
they
misremembering.
dominated. Yeah,
they
they
won.
dominated.
They won everything that year.
Did they? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to bring them down, guys.
Yeah.
But
Pretty much fucked them this year.
yeah, no, I think it's strange because everybody. You got Peso, you got Sugar.
Yeah, bunch
Yeah.
of goal scoring
Who's-
guys.
Cohen skates out. He's a
The-
beast out there.
Well, and then they got
Drake
the
is-
Drake. that can
yeah.
snipe
You got
the puck.
Drake. Yeah.
How many
he's
goals have
in
they
the-
scored?
Let's see here.
15.
15-4.
15. Yep, and then 10 against right now.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that was
That's
wrong.
wrong,
yeah.
That is way wrong.
24 against.
against.
And I think that bringing to their weakness, they have a lot of offensive firepower. Their back end can be a little bit shaky. It's not like horrible by any stretch, but they've given up a bunch of goals. And then they did, as part of that trade, they got the last goalie pick. So they got Sam, who's been fine for them, but he can. he can be had. Sam, and I'm certainly not a critic of
He
the
lets
goalies,
in the
but
old.
he's got the clunkers.
Yeah, the clunkers.
He makes some great saves, but he like when we played him, we scored 3 goals, and I think all 3 of them were 5-hole. And those are ones as a goalie, you're just kind of your head goes up and blah blah blah. So
you never want him to go through you.
Yeah, and then they're back, and because they're stacking their lines, they're playing. Their top picks are, most teams kind of use one of their top 4 or 5 picks to play defense, to kind of get the puck out of your zone and transition to offense. But the Deeks, they went Sugar, Drake. Who was their 3rd pick? Chris Taylor. Then Peso, and then I don't know who was their 5th rounder.
Peso was really good for a 4th rounder.
Nick Shannon. Okay, so. They're stacking. They're putting most of their talent up on the front, and
they did make a goalie trade.
Yeah, so they got
What spot were they? Would they have been picking for goalie if they didn't make that trade?
They would have been.
I would have been on the Nordics.
The trade really hurt them.
No, they had the 3rd pick, so they might have. Maybe they would have taken Cam. Maybe they would have taken Andrew. We don't know. But
it's kind of up in the air for goalies this year.
Yeah.
I remember a lot of guys like, "Oh, what do you think of the eval skates of?" When we thought you were Kelia, now it's Kayla.
That's fair. Thank
so,
you.
Sorry about that.
Not fair.
But I was like, he's a good goalie. He's gonna go high. So, I just they just didn't want to see old Cam bringing down the locker room. So they traded up. But it was also kind of a smart move by them because they're lower round guys. If they do miss those guys, they're not losing too many spots if they're trying to.
Yeah, I thought it was a great. Again, I thought it was a great trade for the Nordiques.
Do trades happen often?
Yeah, I would not all the time, but we definitely average. I would say on average, there's 1 to 2 trades a year would be my guess. We do have a trade.
Normally, one happens before the season even starts for picking purposes.
Yeah, When I say so, there's usually maybe 1 a year preseason, draft spots, but then during the season, we probably average about 2 trades a year, and that's tough. It's very tough because. People, and then we have these fancy uniforms.
Yeah, the jersey,
you got to do the jersey swap. You try to swap guys with the same jersey size, But it's it's very difficult. And this is just a corny beer league that we take way too seriously. But and some guys are like,
that makes it fun though.
Like it does make it fun. Yeah. And Skillman is Skillman is the GM of the Tigers.
Yeah.
And he's like ruthless. He's just like he had both of the Taylor brothers, and he was gonna trade one of the Taylor brothers and not even inform the other one. So he's like ruthless. I am like a big, even though I'm yelling, scream on the ice, I'm a big like softie. It's like I get really sad to like. I'm not trading you.
Yeah, I got
you traded Chad so quick.
No,
I got a beef with Skillman actually, and I couldn't. If I saw this Skillman on the street, I wouldn't know who he was.
Yeah.
But one of the skates before the season started, he messaged me like on a Monday saying, "Hey, can you play Friday?" Like, or someone's not gonna be there. I was like, "Yeah,
know this story.
Yeah." I was like, "Sure, like I'll be there." He texted me at 12 o'clock on 12 noon on Friday, and I was at work, so I didn't check my phone.
Yeah.
And he's like, "You still good?" And then at 3 o'clock, I'm about to text him back saying, like, yeah, I'm still in. And he goes, hey, we're going to go with Dylan between the pipes. As if he was, like, picking between, like, a 1 or 2 goalie. And I was like,
for a preseason game?
Yeah. And I was like, I fucking, didn't make plans on a Friday night because of this.
Yeah.
And now you're basically saying, hey, like, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, I'm never going to sub for this fuck ever
again. You will.
It's funny because I was the one who was like, all right, Skillman's got the skate, I'll be there. And then I think it was like 2 days later, I'm like, I'm going to be up in the UP. We need to find a goalie.
Yeah.
So,
my bad. We're going to go with Dylan between the pipes. Like, fuck off.
I didn't know.
Well, they're good buddies. So.
I hadn't heard that.
Well, I got committed.
That's it's a little messed up.
Yeah, my understanding.
I don't condone my management.
I hadn't heard that first part of the story. The way it was conveyed to me, I think, was something, and I could be misremembering. This was months ago.
Yeah.
But I thought it was like reached out and he said I should be able to make it.
Well, I said I'll be there.
I'm not.
Bring up the history.
I've got the proof.
Let's go. We gotta see it.
I hear you. So
well, then he asked me to sub. You weren't sure if you were going to make a game, like maybe 2 weeks ago or something.
Yeah.
And we had the whole little crisis, so we had to,
Skillman's a good dude. So,
Skillman's
but
a
I
great
hear you.
guy.
But I hear
a
you.
great guy.
I hear you. Well, we'll have to buy you a beer and bury that.
He'll
hat.
meet you at Twin Peaks.
Smooth it over.
Twin Peaks. You guys will have a great time. It'll be all over.
So that's the Nordiques. So then we got the Tigers. So Cam, what do you got?
When our full team shows up, we kind of proved to the Maroons that we're a good team.
No, am I part of that full team?
Yeah, was the full team including Troy?
Well, yeah,
Who did Troy sub for?
Eric Lapoudre.
Eric
Different
Lapoudre.
players. Different
players.
Was that the only sub?
That was
That's
the
my
only
other
sub
question.
that game, I believe, right? Or was there another?
I don't know.
I
You
think
guys
that
have
was-
talent, though.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
agree.
Well, regardless.
yeah, regardless. Now, our biggest flaw, and I've told this to almost everybody in the league, I've told this to, even the managers, is we're having an attendance issue. We can't get the full team there. And what is really hurting us is when we did this trade at the beginning of the draft, now our, who we go to for our subs, we're having to drop down 2 picks. And that's putting us at the bottom of the barrel, so it kind of makes it a little tough. Besides Troy Otto, who we got the win for. But I think right now it's attendance, and we can't finish goals. We just chemistry, we're not getting it together. We found a way bit in the Maroons. I don't think we played that bad against the Seals. We just couldn't finish.
Yeah.
So I mean, you add the Fem into the lineup, a couple other key guys that we need, and it's a different team. We just need our whole team there.
And it's also like
And better goaltending for me.
Fem
I don't know what else to say.
Fem is such a good dude, a good locker room guy, and a good player.
100%.
And he loves MNL, but when he travels for work, so it's frustrating. So he misses a good chunk of games.
Yep.
And it's like, it's one thing for the standings. Of course, you want to win, because especially with a team missing the playoffs. But also, you want your guys there to develop the chemistry.
Mhm.
And
100%.
and so that's kind of what's missing.
Yeah, and a lot. I believe 2. I want to say 2 guys coach outside. So and almost everybody has kids on the team. So they're gonna go to those obligations before anything else, which I 100% get. Family for hockey, 100%. But
Maybe, but yeah.
For men's league hockey.
Depending.
We at least have to say that. Yeah.
yeah, we have to say that. It's
Yeah.
out there now. But I think that honestly, I think our flaw is attendance. We just can't get a full team together. We're gonna try. We have the potential to
It's
be an
improved,
amazing
right?
team.
Over.
It has.
You guys
The
have been
locker
showing up
room.
now,
Yeah, the locker
In
room's
the last
getting
game, were you
better.
guys full? I know it was a loss, but were you guys?
No, they had
No, we have 4.
They had Ty out for Ryan Allen, which
Ty.
isn't which wouldn't be that
And Ty got a goal or a
Yeah.
point, right?
No,
Well,
those-
Ryan Allen's going through surgery too,
Yeah.
so
Oh,
he's
yeah.
going to be gone
Exactly.
for a
He's
while.
having hernia
Okay.
surgery. The tie for Ryan Allen isn't really necessarily they're different players. Ty does some good things. He doesn't have like Ryan Allen has more energy, better motor. I think Ty has better hands. But they also got Ty on his second skate, and Ty is not
Oh, that's brutal, yeah.
Ty's not a conditioned athlete.
But he
so.
walked out with a point. I mean, you
Yeah.
can't.
No. That's just one
So
example.
Ty and
then
what?
Bauer was in
Bauer.
for Gibb, and Bauer didn't he didn't have his best. He's been great for us. He didn't have his best game. I think he'll admit that for the Tigers.
Yeah, he came up to me after in the parking lot. I was like, "I'm really sorry." I'm like, "Dude, it's okay. You have to go balls to walls for your team."
Yeah.
And then in the second game, you could be gassed from the previous game. Who knows? So
And he
I mean,
wasn't
you
like
can't.
horrible, but he got
you
walked
can't-
on that one. So.
He did, but you can't blame just a whole game on one
Yeah.
guy. It's a team effort at
Yeah.
the end of the day. So
My glitch with the Tigers is like when you look at their top 4 draft picks, it was like Pfister, Fem, Judge, Skillman. That's a really nice core. Good start. But that trade did weaken them, down at the bottom half.
Mhm.
And, and again, the margins, MNL is so unique. The margins are so tight. And then when you have like 2 or 3 guys in the bottom where you're just like shift down about 7 picks or whatever it works out
especially when
to
you
be.
go to the 50% below,
Yeah.
that's when it really,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, they're not like we've had some bad. There's been usually we've had a couple once a season. There's like a pretty bad team. The Ducks were pretty fucking bad last year. The Americans 2 years ago were pretty fucking bad. But the Tigers are not a bad team. They have talent, so they're gonna win some games. So I don't think they're like this horrible team. So they're in the mix. I think this year more than any year is like. I think there's 4 or 5 teams that can, win the keg this year.
100%.
More so than any other year. So that takes us to the one team that right now is probably not a keg contender, and that's the Americans.
They look like great in a baseball league, though.
Yeah.
Those jerseys, man.
Oh, the jerseys are great. Just red, white, and blue classic. But,
Yep.
So someone give me. It's tough to find positives, when you. But
Their goaltending is pretty
yeah,
awesome.
yeah,
Pengrazi is a great goalie.
Yeah.
He's technically sound. Yeah.
they have Suits, Antioch. They are really struggling, but they're not like some horrible. They have some talent too. They drafted Suits, then the Antioch, Edge, who's been great. When he shows up, Wells, Turnbull, and then you got Manny, Math, Joe Ellis. Joe Ellis is he was an integral part in our keg run. And he scored.
Dude, he
He
can
can
snipe.
score.
I know.
He's got to reach.
I know. He just hasn't put the
Somebody's got to set him up.
I
Yeah.
believe
100%. He needs
100%.
a guy.
He is over 50% on breakaways every time, just
Yep.
because of his reach. He's
Yeah.
He's a hard player to beat. I mean, he's
He's
got an 8 foot
Yeah.
8 foot fucking extension.
He's
It's
one of these.
ridiculous.
He's like a 6'3". He's not like. He's not like.
fast,
He's not fleet of foot, but he's got this big wingspan. So he puts the puck out here, and he's got a shot. And just
can
I,
fucking
you
run.
know,
He
you
can
guys
snipe.
you guys can speak to this, but
Yeah.
I think his reaches. He puts the puck out here, and it kind of changes the shooting angle. And he's very.
He's
good
a
at
guy who
deceptive,
kind of
yeah.
starts out wide and brings
Pulls
it
it
in,
on, yeah.
which will
but
change your angle completely.
he hasn't scored, and Suits, their number one pick, is one of the fastest. He might, if we had a race and lined him up and went end to end, Suits might win that, but he just hasn't been able to score. They have not found the recipe, to get things clicking.
Cohesion that-
But to your point, Pangrisi, and that's got it. You guys know as a goalie, it's like, that's got to be frustrating because it's like when your team doesn't score you, then you put this even more pressure on yourself. You give up one goal and you're like, fuck, are we even going to get one?
Yeah, exactly.
And if
Yeah.
you
Oh, yeah.
then if you give up the second one and you're down 2-0, you're like, well, fuck, game's over.
Oh,
'Cause,
so that hurts, yeah.
but he's solid. I mean, he's a solid goalie.
Yeah. I would think their flaw is they can't score, like you brought up earlier in the podcast. They can't score. They're 7 goals for, which is surprising since they have. Let me pull up the stats here. I mean, right now we're looking at Edge has a majority of the goals through the American, and Antioch's kind of sleeping down with 1 goal right now.
Yeah.
And that's what 75% of their goal scoring.
And it's not like.
I've heard he's been in our game. He hit 2 posts, like I said earlier.
Yeah.
But I heard that he's been hitting posts like crazy beyond that as well.
Antioch is a sniper.
Yeah,
but again,
he's a
he's
fucking finisher.
He's a guy that he's not going to go coast to coast. He needs someone. He played with Proctor last year and scored a shit ton of goals. So
Yes, he did.
They had great chemistry together.
Yeah.
And they both scored a bunch of goals, but they just can't get
It's
it
crazy
going.
how anybody that plays with Proctor just
Yeah, gets
they had
goals.
such great chemistry. How did they?
But Proctor is not as good as Proctor is. He's not like there's faster guys like Matt Taylor. Like he's gonna scoop up the puck and he just fucking goes and he's a bull in a china shop and it's like the defenders are like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
Proctor's not like he's not like dangling through 3 guys.
There's more smoothness to his game.
And
It's,
and what I'm getting at is that Antioch was good at kind of like hanging in the slot. Proctor hits him, and then Antioch would fucking finish, and vice versa. They would find each other, and that's where, to your point earlier, like the Maroons when they have their full. That's the thing with Star. With Star being out hasn't hurt the Maroons, like because they get a good player all the time, but you get a different player. Like sometimes you get Matt Lapoudre, who's probably the closest thing to Star, just more of like a shutdown D-man with a big shot. And then sometimes they get Edge, who's another, kind of defenseman with a big shot. But then when you sub Judge, and then you play him at, center. But when you have your full roster, you have Sips, and I've felt that Paul needs a little bit more, Proctor needs a little bit more help on that, top line, because he's playing with.
Yeah.
I think it's normally like, who are the Maroons? Oh, well, Nick Myers hasn't showed up the whole fucking year, but it would be like Nick
what's
Myers.
going on with
even if
that?
he did.
I don't know. But it'd be like Nick Myers and Sips with Proctor,
right.
and you're playing against other teams' top lines every night, and so.
Which is okay once you throw in Star. That still becomes a major threat.
Yep.
Those teams get comfortable, and then here comes the sauce pass from Star.
Yeah.
It's-
I mean, you kind of look about them on the draft and on paper.
No, I think they drafted a good team.
Yeah,
and
it's another anomaly that's
and-
like,
and
why aren't
Manny-
they getting it done?
trust me, Manny it's causing him great distress. I mean, he's texting like he's trying. It's like, what the fuck are you do? They're trying all these different lines, and that's the thing too. It's like it's
Right,
that fine line between like you don't score, so you want to mix it up. But then you have a new fucking lineup every fucking week, so then you have no chemistry.
Yeah.
So I don't.
Consistency.
But they have a good enough goalie. They should just stack the first line to get goals and let Pangreasy bail him out in the second line.
100%. He's a great goalie.
I tend to agree. You know,
And especially when you're only scoring 7 goals in 6 games in men's league hockey.
You gotta do.
That's just
something.
not okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
If I was Pangreasy, I'd be on suicide watch.
It's hard.
Don't hang yourself from the crossbar anytime
Yeah.
soon yet. You know, it's only still.
But to
early,
your point, I agree, and that's been my issue. Is like 1 week they did try to stack it, and I think they did Suits, Antioch, and I think Joe Ellis
And that was the game we went to a shootout.
yeah.
So-
No, but my point is, so Suits to me, you know, Suits is a north-south guy, and he's got a motor. He can skate up and down the fucking ice all day. So but he's not a gifted passer. You know, like he doesn't have great touch, so he's not really like gonna set up the guys around him.
Mm-hmm.
So if I were GM of the Americans, I would put like an Antioch edge, like a Joe Ellis, because those guys kind of play at the same speed, move the puck around, and then let Suits kind of run the second line because he can kind of do it himself.
So I think
you know?
Edge should be playing defense.
I tend to agree too. I think they should
100%.
put. I think they have this guy named Wells who they've been playing at D, and that's the thing too.
Now,
Edge has scored some goals for them, and he's got a great shot. But there's value of having that defenseman that can get you out of your zone and transitioning to offense. Because if you can't get out of your own fucking zone, then what's the fucking point?
Yeah, Edge kind of reminds me of Ben. Like I think Edge is a really smart player. I think he's really smooth, and I think he's really smart.
100%.
Yep. So
Now, they're running Wilkie on the second line, right?
yeah, so they've bumped him up, and he's been fine. Most teams, that's the other unique thing as a goalie. I mean, you'll learn. MNL's a weird, like if you're playing on Friday nights at Troy, it's like you're like, oh, this team's fucking good, so it's like their guys are fucking good, or this team fucking sucks. MNL, when you're a new guy, you know, and you're starting to figure it out as you go, but it's like it's almost like, well, who the fuck's coming down at me? It's like I could have a first rounder that's gonna fucking go bar down, or we have every team's got a handful of, like, you know, we call them lovingly, we call them benders.
Yeah.
You know, so
But you know pretty quick. I mean,
Yeah.
you can tell who can skate.
Yeah.
And if
Absolutely.
you can't skate, you're probably not going to get a shot off, right? Because
Yeah.
you don't have balance, so it doesn't
Yeah.
really matter. Yeah.
yeah. So we'll see. I mean, I'm pulling for the Americans. I just because it's it's no fun to be in that locker room when you don't fucking win.
Yeah.
And when you go to the rink and you're not looking forward to it, it's like it's a horrible feeling. So I'd love to see
Well, it
the
just builds.
Americans.
Yeah.
Yes. And then a couple bad games in a row, and then it's like
It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. So need a little spark there. But so I think we've recapped kind of everybody. So we're heading into the second circuit.
Yep.
We have Maroons on a bye,
Yeah.
which how is that? Just, you know, what do you like the bye? You like having a week off, or is it like kill you? It's like, fuck, I don't get to play for 2 weeks.
Right now, I'd say I'd like to be playing. Obviously, I think everyone would like to be playing, but I could see, like, in a non-COVID related world where like I'm traveling for work once in a while, if it lands on the right spot, it might be okay.
Yeah, yeah. So we got Maroons on the bye, so it takes us back to the first week. So we have, what do we got? We got
Tigers and Whalers.
And then we have North Stars, Seals,
Yep.
and then Nordiques
That's a good
Americans.
and Nordiques Americans.
Yep.
So I mean, it's interesting. So I mean, I'd love to see the Americans. I mean, love to see them get a win if possible.
Love to see the Nordiques get one too.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
it's a
I just
strange world out there
Yeah.
right now.
It was a close game last time too,
Yeah.
because the Nordiques only won by 1 goal against the Americans.
the last week, you know, again, they're kind of down in the dumps. They've gotten beat up the last couple games, but for the first like 4 games of the year, it's like they were losing 1-goal games. You know,
Yep.
so they're definitely
Seals 3 years ago.
Yeah. So, yeah, we'll see how that goes. But I'd love to see them. And I just don't want it to get in a situation. I like that the Tigers are still within striking distance. It can get pretty sad when that last place team gets like too far behind, and then it's like, fuck. I like it. It's fun when the
Still a race.
still fighting for a
yeah,
place, yeah.
still got a
yes.
race involved.
And I hope
yeah.
we don't get to that point. And so that's the good thing for the Americans is that the Tigers have not run away. They win 1 game and they're right back in the mix. So.
What's the total? How far ahead? I mean, the
Oh, so
Nordiques aren't that
So right now the
either.
Nordiques are at 6
Yeah.
points, the Tigers are
Bottom
at
three are
4,
pretty
and then
close.
the American are 2. So
Yeah,
I mean
so, I
that's
mean, there's
that's
a
a
huge
that's a
race
game
there
difference,
still.
and it
Yeah.
switches up that whole little bottom 3 right now.
It'll be
so.
interesting to see if
with the bye weeks.
if
and-
it
Yeah.
continues.
Well, and
with
here's
like
the other thing: is the Nordiques have been on a 2-week bye now because
Yeah.
of this. So
Yeah.
will that affect them?
Yeah.
I mean, they're only
they're coming in cold.
a
Yeah.
couple of guys. I mean, probably
point.
maybe 4 guys out of the team are only playing Wednesday,
Yeah.
Wednesday and Friday. The other guys.
And
are,
I think Sugar's got to serve his suspension. What time? What
He's
are the
still got a
Nordiques? Then
suspension to go?
yeah, because
Oh,
Trent
yeah.
served
Yeah.
his.
So we got the Tigers and the Whalers.
Who's
on
the
Olympic.
9 o'clock game?
That's the Tigers and the Whalers. So that's
So the
being-
so the Nordiques are and the
So
Maroons
it'll
are on
be
the
an easy
bye,
game
so
for
they don't.
us.
So I'm just trying to think who's gonna play for Sugars. So who was in the 9 o'clock game?
9 o'clock game is the
Whalers and-
primetime game. Tigers and Whalers.
So they're looking at like an Andy Fem's out next week. So I'm just trying
Mm-hmm.
to think who they can get to sub. So it's probably gonna be like a Trent would be my guess, because you're limited to the 9 o'clock teams and or the bye teams.
I'm not
or
aware of
like a-
what's going on
or
up
like
in
a
the
J-Flow.
management tower right now.
Yeah.
We're pretty quiet, and this is the quietest team I've ever had on Slack. Just,
Yeah.
But
A lot of things going on.
I
in
mean,
that
skill.
locker room.
Yeah, yeah. I
Alright,
think
how is-
Skillman will. Go ahead.
How's the Maroons Slack group? Are you a participant? You check in here and there.
A lot of
Are you-
ladies.
Are
a lot
you
of
the-
ladies.
Are you there on Monday when Proctor gets
Yeah.
his little little
Yeah, I see
spiel?
Proctor setting his motivation for
His
the week.
moonshots and
Yeah,
stuff, I
yeah.
love that shit.
I haven't
What
said
a
too
guy.
much yet.
Yeah.
I did a little bit this week. They actually asked like what we thought about the game, so I kind of chimed in a little bit. But
After the North Stars game, like a little recap.
yeah, like what do we think kind of went wrong? I guess.
Yeah.
So I kind of chimed in a little bit.
What'd you say?
Um,
I'm just joking.
No, I'll tell you. I mean, I thought
You're gonna go
it was a
ahead.
really, really poor choice to put Judge with Proctor. I just think Proctor's a power forward who I mean, he goes wide, he cuts in, and you need someone who's going to be in the slot. And Judge is more of a skill player, tries to set people up. I just think that's a waste of rather than just
Yeah.
one.
Yeah,
That's just
but
me.
what on with your full roster? Let's just assume that Star's probably not going to be there. But let's just say you have like an Edge or a that defenseman.
Yeah.
What would you do? I mean, what line pairings would you do for the Maroons?
I don't know everyone's name is the problem, but
Yeah.
I think you could put Proctor and Rakowski together, honestly, because Rakowski
Yeah.
go to the front of the net.
Yeah.
I mean, Proctor drives the net a lot, right?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of loose change there, and you need someone who's going to be there to bang it home.
Yeah. And Rutkowski is a good garbage man for sure.
Yeah, I mean, you just put someone who's big who could be in front of the net and just try and clean stuff up. I mean, let Proctor try and create his own chances. It's fine.
Yeah.
Especially since he likes to float like at the far, he actually made a really nice play last week where he came in and cherry picked someone. He did a nice stick lift on someone in the defensive zone, but very rarely does he enter the defensive zone. So
You're talking about Proctor?
yeah. So
Yep.
so you might as well just let him let him be on the line where he's on his own and put bodies and that's why Sips has been okay.
Yeah.
Like just put him in front.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
And then put J Flow and whether it's Judge or whether it's any other players together.
Well,
I mean, it doesn't
I
really
gotta
matter.
ask though, since you know Sips, how do you
That
think?
was- that
how
was
do you
great,
think about
though.
the pregame Sips? Doesn't put on the jersey until right.
I don't know if Sips has been doing
I
it. though.
has he not done that this year?
Yeah, we
I
kind of.
haven't noticed.
So Sips is
I pay zero attention to that.
Yeah.
So I have no
Okay.
idea.
You should.
So
It's
Sips,
funny.
Sips is an absolute character, and we've actually had to rein him in because he used to come out for pregame warm-ups, no helmet, no jersey. He'd have like his shoulder pads on, for no reason.
Yeah.
Like,
That's the way they warm up now.
so we're like Sips, you are not a good enough skater to not have a fucking helmet on. It's like
Trying to be like Peso out there.
you
with
catch
the-
an edge and crack your skull, buddy.
Yeah.
So I don't know. So I don't think he's done a ton of that this year. But it is interesting because Pete, I know exactly the play you're talking about because Pete, our center on our top line, he was like in the slot, thought he had all day, and then Proctor actually was like back checked and he stick.
When I saw the stick lift, I was like, that was a great defensive play. And I looked up and I was like, Proctor. I was like,
Yeah. What are
You've
you
never
doing back
gotten this
here?
deep
Yeah,
in the
what are you
zone
doing
before.
back
Yeah.
here?
I mean, it was right in the slot. I mean, it was right at the hash marks. Yeah. So
he likes to float.
pretty excited as a goalie. Wants to see some defensive effort.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
It's a
All
rough
right.
league not to have it.
Anything else you boys want to cover? Any non-MNL topics?
I mean, we got an election going on.
We do
Are
have
you
an
trying to go
election.
down that route?
I don't know.
Is Matt
Anything.
on the podcast?
No,
He's gonna
would-
fucking flip out
No.
and start getting all Trump.
I
on
think
it.
he's- I think he's
I
happy right
I was
now,
gonna
actually.
say if I were Math, I think he's probably feeling pretty happy.
Yeah.
Sort of mixed reviews because take the Trump debacle out of everything and was not the blue wave that they expected. So Math's probably very happy to get with the Trump result, probably unhappy with the remainder of the election. So we will see. I just hope it ends here sooner.
I want it to end
one
here,
way or the
and
other.
we start having cohesion as people again. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
I just feel
As a
like
country.
as a country, as friends, just yeah.
I try to remain.
We do this every 4 years, you know.
Yeah.
Friends will bicker, and then
Yeah.
let
I
the dust
deleted
settle, and
Troy
it'll be
from
fine.
Facebook.
Yeah, Trump's a lightning rod, so it's always been this, but then he's even more divisive. And I put my little touchy-feely thing, and the Facebook politics is something that is just a big no-no. But it's like, but it does make me sad because I do know multiple friends and family that are literally like at each other's fucking throats, and it's like,
That's
for
crazy.
what?
Yeah,
It's like
for what?
it's like my whole point is like this. But Joe, whether it's Biden or Trump, like they're not gonna fucking help you. But that's like, but your sister, when you have a time of need, and then you're no longer talking to your sister, it's like they're gonna be the one that's gonna fucking
100%.
be there for you. So it's like
100%.
and there are legit. I know multiple people that are like legit losing friends over it.
You said it great when you said, we still are going to work Monday.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
and
that
nothing's
was
changing in your life
I've-
because
I've
of the
al-
president.
You're still going to
That's,
work.
you
You're
know,
still doing your job.
so
You're still
true.
waking up, kissing your wife. You're still loving your kids.
Yeah.
2 guys are not going to change that for you.
Yeah, so it is what it is. But but apart from all that, like it is also fascinating. Like it's kind of fun. I'm not a big. I try not to be like politics, but I couldn't. It's kind of fun once every 4 years to like stay up late and watch. Like the process is kind of
Oh,
fascinating.
I was
Yeah.
up until 3 that night, wondering what was going on.
Yeah.
It was
I was up for a
interesting.
while and I was like, oh fuck, well, this isn't.
Yeah, we're not gonna find out.
Yeah, we're
it's
not
like,
gonna
okay,
find out, yeah.
I'm going to fucking.
I still think we
yeah.
won't find out
And,
until Friday.
and it's
so.
and it's fucking crazy how like some states have their shit together and they got them all processed. Then you got and then Nevada. I saw some little meme of like a little leaguer. It was like the rest of the country, and then it has like a little thing, and then it says Nevada, and it's got a kid on a
He's running
baseball
in slow
field like.
motion. I seen a sloth processing paperwork.
Yeah.
It's hilarious shit.
Yeah, but so we'll see. Hopefully we'll put that behind us and we'll go from there. I've always been in favor if it holds true, and it's not, well, depending on what happens in Georgia with the Senate runoff, but I've always liked it when things are split. I don't like it when one party
Landslide.
I don't like it when one party has
Complete control.
because then shit gets crazy.
Yeah.
So I'd be perfectly.
Split's good for the stock market, good for the wallet.
Yeah, I'd be very content with Biden being the president and Republicans controlling the Senate, and then just because then usually the only shit that gets passed is shit that should get passed. So and we'll go from there.
Yep.
But
Yep.
There you go. I think,
You know what I'm also happy about is no more political ads. Just blowing up our social media pages, commercials.
Yeah.
We
Oh,
can.
the text messages were new this year.
That
It's-
was
Yeah.
awful.
It's a new wrinkle.
Oh
It's
man, I
fucking
probably had
horrible.
over 25
And
text messages.
Political ads have never been good, but it's like they're just on both sides too. It's like they're just fucking nonsense.
Yeah, 100%.
Like
Oh, it's so
they're
corny.
they
and
don't.
just
Well, they're so
stupid.
they don't even talk about. All they do is just like slam the other side with just like taking something completely out of
Yeah,
context.
they're taking one quote that wasn't even talked about.
Like, this guy wants to take away everything. John James wants to take away your fucking family, your health care, whatever. And then
And
it's
your
like,
guns.
and then it's like Gary Peters wants to fucking rape your daughter and your
He
sister.
wants to dump gasoline in
It's
Lake
just-
Michigan.
yeah,
Like
it's just so pointless. But obviously, there's some people out there that get influenced. I mean, I don't know how. I don't know who these people are that get influenced. But obviously, they wouldn't spend millions of dollars if it didn't work.
Wasn't proof, yeah.
But I've always been an advocate for it's like there should just be fucking none, or there should be some type of rules of like what you're fucking allowed to put out there. But it's just a shit show. Then you throw in the
If it
old.
was controlled, it would
Now
be
with
better.
all the social media part of it too, it's just it really is a shit show.
Dude,
Yeah.
anybody can say anything at any time, and
Yeah.
that's just unreal.
So we'll see. But I think that's a wrap.
Yeah,
What time? Yeah, shit. We've been rambling
good
on
time,
about an
man.
hour and a half. I think that's a good show.
that was a great show.
So thanks for coming on.
Yeah,
Did you have
yeah,
fun,
thanks.
Andrew?
Yeah, no, I had a lot of fun. I appreciate it. It's just good to meet more people, honestly.
Yeah,
Big
hey,
thing,
thanks for
so,
coming out,
Yeah,
man.
appreciate it.
Sorry for
Now
slashing
everyone-
in
Yeah.
this whole time.
Sorry for mispronouncing
Yeah,
your
no
last name.
Yeah, no worries. No worries.
Sorry that he called you Andrea.
And-
Yeah,
It's-
that was the coldest thing that's happened.
Yeah,
yeah.
that was
And
kind of
Pellet,
cool.
I don't know if Pellet listens to the podcast.
So what
the
is it?
fuck? I've been calling.
I thought it was Mark Pilo, but I
I've
could be
called him
wrong.
Pellet since day one.
I could be
read on
wrong.
the
I just that's what I
jersey
think from
and
golf league is
Pilo.
Pilo.
He
He is
responds to
pretty.
it.
He is pretty
Pilo.
sophisticated. Maybe I
Yeah,
don't.
hey.
I could be wrong. I could be.
Pila?
I could be spreading misinformation right now. I honestly don't know, but I thought it was Pilo.
There you go. All right. So if this was Piercy here, he'd hit the soundboard podcast song on the way out. But I think we're just gonna hit stop.
Yeah, we're just gonna hit that.
And we'll go from there.
See you guys. Have a good
Yep.
week.